I'm 25 years deep in the health and fitness field. I have a PhD in exercise physiology and nutrient biochemistry. I've done extensive research, both small and large scale. I write on these topics, coach on these topics, and teach on these topics. I co-founded the world's largest nutrition coaching, certification, and software company. My doctor tells me my blood work looks perfect, and my wife tells me I look pretty good in a fitted shirt. But for all my expertise and fancy credentials, here's the question I get asked the most. So, JB, level with me. What's the best diet? There's just the paleos warring with the vegans, warring with the carnivores, warring with the ketos, warring with the Dr. Oz followers, and all the people who just want to look and feel better, left scratching their heads on the sidelines. Wouldn't we all like to know the exact, perfect foods to eat and not eat to keep our waist trim, our biceps popping, our skin glowing, and our joints pain-free? Our mood stable, our disease risk low, and of course, our self-confidence sky high? Well, this is awkward, but I don't have the answer. Now, I don't have the answer because, well, it's complicated, but also simple. Despite what you may have heard from folks in the paleo, vegan, intermittent fasting, Mediterranean, ketogenic, or local organic free-range only camps, there's actually no such thing as one universal best diet. 3 reasons for that. Reason number 1, people are diverse. When you've spent the amount of time that we've spent, over 15 years, working with clients, over 100,000 of them, you realize that people are different. All 100,000 of them. Sure, our genes are pretty similar, and the basics of biology too. However, we've got breastfeeding moms who want to lose weight but don't have much time because they're raising a human, and they can't eat dairy or spicy food because it hurts the baby's tummy. We've got former college athletes with big appetites that don't match their current desk job level of activity, but who will put you in a headlock if you try to take away their pizza and beer. We've got animal rights activists who don't want their friends on their plates, and environmentalists who roll their eyes at the thought of eating an avocado in the middle of a Canadian winter. And we've got former dieters who fear fat, and others who cower at the thought of bread. So we tore up the one-size-fits-all diet plan a long time ago, because people are unique in terms of their body types, goals and limitations, eating experiences, taste preferences, budgets, nutrition knowledge, ability to apply that knowledge, schedules, ethnic and cultural backgrounds, activity levels, environments, and more. There's no way that one diet can be best for all these people and their various preferences, points of view, and proclivities. Can you imagine? I know you have a tight budget for food, but if you sell one of your children, you'll be able to afford the organic, free-range foods we recommend in our program. It's the only way. Or carbs. They're tasty. But on this program, you can't have any, because insulin is the enemy. So say goodbye to sugar, and pasta, and potatoes, and rice. Sorry, it's just what works. Or, sure, I understand the moral and ethical obligation you feel, but our ancestors ate animal foods, so you should too. Suck it up, throw some meat on the fire, and let's get this party started. If you want to make people cry, or punch you, those are great approaches. However, if you want to be someone who can affect change, you might try listening more to people's human needs and considering approaches that fit within their actual lives. Reason number 2, many diets are effective. You'd never know this if you got stuck at a table with a paleo, a vegan, and a low-carb lifer, but all 3 approaches can work, meaning they can get you the health and body you want, as long as a few conditions are met. All you have to do is take a look around the world to see that many traditional diets are associated with robust health, despite being very different in terms of composition. For example, the Mediterranean diet, which is high in plants and seafood and rich in olive oil. Traditional diets of the Arctic Inuit and African Maasai, which are high in fat and animal products with very few vegetables. The low-fat and high-starchy carb diet of the Katavans in the South Pacific. And the saturated fat-rich diet of the Tokelau, near New Zealand. Seemingly so different, yet all these diets are associated with low rates of obesity, metabolic disorders, and cardiovascular disease. But are they really that different? If we step back and look at the fundamentals of most popular and traditional diets, you'll notice that they actually have a lot in common. Imagine that. And likely it's the commonalities, not the differences, that produce the results. Commonalities like, first, They raise nutrition awareness and attention. Plain and simple, thinking more about what you eat leads to better choices because, hey, when you care about something, you're more likely to pay attention to it. And paying attention means more awareness of what you put into your grocery cart and in your mouth. Whether that attention is trained on avoiding carbs, eating more veggies, or only eating organic is irrelevant. It's the paying attention that matters. Next, they focus on food quality. Pretty much every nutrition camp recommends eating whole, minimally processed, nutrient-rich foods. That may be one of the most important nutrition interventions of all, regardless of the protein, carb, and fat breakdowns. Next, they eliminate nutrient deficiencies. Diets that have us eating more minimally processed, nutrient-rich foods also help us reduce many of the most common deficiencies, like deficiencies in water, certain vitamins and minerals, proteins, and essential fatty acids. Fix those, and you start looking and feeling better pretty quickly, regardless of whether you paleo or keto. Next, they help control appetite and food intake. Interestingly, when we're more aware of what we're eating, when we choose higher quality foods, and when we eliminate nutrient deficiencies, we almost always end up eating less total food because we feel more satisfied. No calorie counting needed. And finally, they promote regular exercise. When people start paying attention to their eating, they usually start thinking about physical activity too. And regular activity helps us turn the food we eat, whatever food that is, into functional tissue instead of extra fat. In the end, notice that these commonalities don't require that a diet is plant-based, animal-based, caveman-based, trendy, celebrity-endorsed, or reflective of specific macronutrient ratios. They only require that you pay attention, eat more high-quality, minimally processed food, and get moving through purposeful exercise. And reason number 3, habits beat food rules always. At Precision Nutrition, instead of giving out meal plans or enforcing strict diet rules, we teach long-term nutrition habits. That's because in real life, with real people, food rules, even the ones that are meant to be health-supporting, are too constraining to manage sanely and sustainably. Most people can follow a rigid diet for a period of time, and some people may even like the security and clarity of having a set of rules to follow. But in the long term, real life will interrupt that perfect diet. Like when work gets really busy and you don't have time to go to the farmer's market to get those local eggs and veggies. Or when you're vacationing in Italy and sticking to a low-carb diet would be so sad that, well, you might as well stay in your hotel room. When the plan goes to hell and you haven't built a more flexible skill set, what are you left with? That feeling of falling off the wagon and no guidelines at all. That's why we teach habits. They're more flexible and they build skills that work in the context of all kinds of different life stages, schedules, budgets, body types, and food preferences. The habits we teach, like eating a range of colorful fruits and vegetables, eating protein at each meal, eating slowly, and reducing low-nutrient foods, help people get healthy and fit in a way that feels doable to them, like for the rest of their lives. Because, people like to eat chocolate from time to time. And with some flexibility, a healthy diet can include chocolate, even the not dark kind. If a diet forbids chocolate, people go from extreme to extreme, from no chocolate ever to eat all the chocolate. Sadly, their weight and their moods tend to follow these dramatic swings. In the end, instead of trying to find that elusive, single, perfect diet, think of yourself as a nutrition agnostic. Be open-minded and evaluate anything and everything that could work. Be flexible and willing to test new methods, and be humble and even ready to sometimes admit that you're wrong. Because if you fixate too much on food rules, you forget the most important thing, the person, you. Or if you're a coach, your client. So, can we get that drum roll again? The very best diet to follow actually is the one that helps you pay attention and care about what you're eating. The one that helps you eat more high quality and minimally processed food. The one that helps you get moving through purposeful exercise, and the one that you can actually stick to for the long run. Thanks for watching and listening today. Just so you know, Precision Nutrition is home to the world's top nutrition experts. We've been coaching clients and certifying professionals since 2005. Learn more at precisionnutrition.com.